In today's video, I'm going to show you how to build this sci-fi door. Now, these are available on my website at jasonjensentrains.com. Okay, before we start building this, let's visit Direct Docking Station and I'll show you some examples of some doors that are already painted.
Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy. Don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy. Don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well, as you can see, there are many different ways to paint your sci-fi doors. All right, let's get started on this. So this is what it looks like when you receive yours in the mail. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is take this sheet right here and cut out these two pieces. That easy. Now you may want to take a file and file right where you cut so it's not raised. I'll show you. Okay, then we're going to want to take this piece right here. And again, we'll quick file these. You could use sandpaper, but this file works really great. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to get a file like this. Okay, so these two pieces fit together like this. And let's quick you want to make sure that they are level at the top. So as you can see, I'm just pushing it against my 1, 2, 3 block. I love these. I have a set, and again I'll put a link in the description below so that you can get these. Now that glue is just to hold it. Next we're going to take this piece and let's mark it quick with a pencil right at that level right there. That's where I marked it. Super glue works the best on this project and this type of material. So we'll lay that on there. And again, make sure that it's level with the top. Okay, now we're going to take this piece, and that goes right there. And then this piece fits right there. you should always put the glue on the bottom piece, not on the top. I actually did on this because there's an overhang. I'll show you when it dries. There is our main door frame. I'll show you in the back side. Okay, let's finish our door frame. We're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to cut out our pieces. This one fits right there, like that. Then we have these two pieces, and they go on right there. All right, let's quick glue these on. Now, on this one, you want to glue on the back of this material, not here, because you'll see there's an area that shows. So you don't want to put glue on that. If it gets too heavy, wipe some off so that it doesn't bleed out onto the area that shows. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. And you can see there's engraved lines on there. Hopefully you can. Next, let's finish with this sheet right here. There's two pieces right here. Now you'll see there's engraved lines on it. You line them up with the engraved lines that are on here. Be sure not to put your glue all the way to the edge, because you don't want it to squeeze out and have that glue showing. So again, just line it up in the shape. Okay, we'll let that dry for a second. And what else? These two thin ones. And then that little control panel right there. These have designs. This one has a circle at the top, and this one has some lines. Don't know if you can see that. I'm going to put the one with the circle on this side because it's the opposite. There's a circle up here, so I'm going to put that circle over here. Now again, there's engraved lines that show you where to glue this. Now you can put this on last if you want to. That way you can actually paint the buttons on here, and there's a little speaker. You could paint that little square black. For the demonstration, I'm going to glue that on now. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Now, we'll set that aside and let's build our doors. Again, take your file and make sure that everything is smooth. Okay, now take this piece and cut out your two door panels. You know, there is a piece right here, and I'll cut it out and I'll show you. This piece is definitely optional. And you can see it has an arrow, one that goes up and one that goes down. So it would be more for like an elevator. And there's an engraved line on here that shows you where to glue that. And again, you can paint those arrows on here first, a yellow color. You could even use glow-in-the-dark paint if you wanted to. And then glue that on, just like that. But again, you don't have to put that on. You could put a sign up there or just leave it. Okay, I got sidetracked. Let's cut out the doors. Now you have your two doors. Now there's shapes inside of those doors that get cut out. And keep these. Don't throw them away because you can glue them if you wanted to. You could glue them, say, up at the top for even more detail, or somewhere else on your diorama or your display. Yeah, these are great panels. Okay, let's get these glued in place. Go slow, take your time. You want to get it positioned just right. The super glue sets up pretty fast, so and again, you're going to want to use the super glue. I've tried using like even white Elmer's glue, and it just doesn't really hold well. And another thing is that when this material gets wet, especially the dark brown material, when it gets wet, it starts to curl a little bit. So using white Elmer's glue just caused the pieces to curl up. Okay, there's your doors. Now let's take one of our little rectangle pieces that came out of the bottom, and we're going to glue that up top here. Now make sure that you get it straight. Now if you lay these down, the inset area around here, those doors will fit inside that area. And there you are. Your door is done. Okay, now let's spray these with a gray primer, and then we can paint them. Okay, I simply sprayed the doors with a reddish brown primer. I then sprayed the door frame with a gray primer. Now you could simply leave it like that, paint your buttons, or you could do some weathering to it. So that's what we're going to do next. We're just going to add some value to it. Okay, the first thing we're going to work on is the doors. So I have a paper towel, and I have a sponge, and the sponge is a grout sponge that you can buy at any hardware store for dealing with tile grout. And we're using a color called terracotta. It may be too bright. We might have to mix a little bit of burnt sienna with it. So I just did about 50-50. Now very lightly. Very lightly. And you want to keep churning your sponge or churning the object so you don't get a repeat pattern. If you want to, you can place one of the parts back into the center and sponge around it. Okay, now we'll do the same to the other door. You can also paint these before you glue them together. If you wanted those inner panels to be a lighter color, you could spray it or paint it with a brush before you glue the top piece on. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'll get this one done and then we'll come back and we'll paint some metal on it to make it look like the paint has worn off all the way down to the metal. Hopefully you noticed that I went heavier with the light paint at the bottom and less at the top. I figured that more of it would be worn at the bottom than at the top. So now we're going to take a dry brush paint. You could use any silver. I really enjoy using this dry brush paint from Ammo. You can see it's called light metal. All right, now we'll just take a small brush. Now very carefully I'm going to brush over the edges. So hold it at an angle and just hit the edge of those raised areas. As most of the paint comes off your brush and as it starts to dry on the brush, you can actually scrub over it. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish up this door and then we can move on to working on the door frame. Now, if you want to make them look even more dirty, use some soft pastel chalks. You can go to any art store or even on Amazon. I'll try to put a link in the description. Just make sure it says soft pastels. And let's use a dark brown, a little black. Okay, let's move on to our door frame. Okay, we're going to make our door frame look kind of rusty a little bit. So I'm going to use a dark brown. This is called bittersweet chocolate. But any dark brown will work. Always safe to blot it on a paper towel first before you actually start using it. Now we'll go heavier at the bottom than at the top. Okay, I think that's enough. Don't want it too rusty. Now we could take our silver again. You know what? First, let's take, these are metallic colors. We have red and blue. Now we'll rinse our brush. Now if you want these buttons to be brighter, a good trick is to first paint them white. Then let that dry good. Then paint your metallic red and blue. And it will definitely be brighter. Now we're going to take our silver paint again. And let's just simply go over some edges. Okay, that is done. Now, one last thing. if you want to. In the corner, I don't know if you can see it, there's a rust color. And that is a great dry rust color. There are endless possibilities on how to paint these, and you could definitely paint these to fit the diorama or display that you already have in place. On the website, we also have accessories and dioramas. Something I didn't mention when I showed how to put these two together and how to paint them is that you can leave off the signs, or you can make your own signs. If anyone is new to the channel and you're wondering why it's called Jason Jensen Trains, it's because I'm going to have trains on my sci-fi layout. We'll have a train on the upper level and we'll have a train on this level. All right, well again, please visit my website at jasonjensentrains.com. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And a big thank you to all of my Patreons. Now, if you're a Patreon member, you will receive a discount on the sci-fi doors. And the discount code will be located on my Patreon page. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.